Okay, so as we went through and prepared these slides, like we do every quarter to give you a good review of, there's a quick, we can make this over. Okay, any questions? What are you doing? But it's a pleasure going through the slide to just put the work into it so we can relay to you all the stuff that's going on in your church. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And I don't know, it's almost like a renaissance, I think, for 2019 when you look ahead. We've got a lot of new people here, you know, from here and there, and welcome. So we've got a lot of fun things scheduled for next year. And if you want to plug in somewhere, if you're new or old or whatever, just let us know and we can certainly, you know, get you involved. Well, let's see if I can do this right now after giving you a hard time. There we go. So this is our agenda. We follow kind of the same one because old people like to do that. So you can see all the different topics that are going to be covered. We have most of the people here this morning to present their area, but if not, we've got some good fill-ins, so we can work with that too. Outreach programs. Pastor's going to do that.
Look, I'm going to change mine. I still have my mic up. Hi. Welcome. I should have Dan do this, but I didn't prep him yet. Anyway, so just to recap, the trunk or treat, great participation, low turnout due to rain. There's more interaction. One of the things that, okay, so what's the goal of trunk or treat? Get little kids here, families. Well, the rain's horrible. We had people who came, who didn't do the trunk or treat. They just wanted to see the little kids. And these are contacts from our church. And it was great, because what happens is the more, you just make friends. It's all these are designed to do is just make friends. They need to know them, and then something happens, or they want to know more about Jesus, and we tell them. It's pretty simple. And it was a good night. It was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of meaningful conversations. I think we got a few phone numbers and contacts for people. That was a lot of fun. Christmas for Kids is coming up. We are blessed with a number of people. If you ever heard me read a book, it's not that exciting. If you've heard someone who can actually teach read a book, there are a few teachers in the room. You don't raise your hand, but there's an art to doing this, to teaching children. And we are blessed with a plethora of those people. One of them is teaching our kids right now. So I'm excited for Christmas for Kids. I wanted to use the theme to Bethlehem because it's going to spill over into Sunday School Christmas program to Bethlehem. When you invite people, they'll probably go, oh, that's nice. But if you say, come and see my child, oh yeah, you just stuck the knife in, and now they got to come, right? Because otherwise you're insulting my child. You're not. So use that liberally. Just go out there and just say, come and see the kids. It's for the kids. And they will hear the gospel from this is real ministry that these kids do. And that is very powerful words that the kids proclaim. And you can't even be mad at them because they're cute. So it's awesome. It's very good. Take advantage of that and invite people to come. Next, Christmas Eve. Wonderful. We can argue if Christmas or Easter is better. It's like puppies or kittens or hot dogs or hamburgers. They're both wonderful. And chili. That's a good time. We went through this, and the guys in the council were going, well, my crock pot was the red one. So that's in January, of course. That's the last picture we'll give you. We don't need to go through all that. But there's things coming up. Another opportunity. Who doesn't like chili? Hey, we're having chili. Okay, well, I'll come. Another opportunity. This is just for the year, just through January 27th. And one of the highlights, you're going to see an actual slide on it, this ladies' Christmas lunch, the church decorating. So Saturday, December 1st. So that's next Saturday. A week from Saturday. Thank you. A week from Saturday. We're going to be decorating the church and the ladies' Christmas lunch. I don't know where you guys are going. I think it's TBD, but it's coming up. And then voters meeting is the next, so 2 weeks after this. We don't do a lot of business, but one of the things our Constitution demands is that we show you a budget and we show you the next church council. Okay? And then the other events you've seen. And again, this will all be on the slides that we send out on Tuesday. This is the 2019 outreach plan, and I show you this because there are opportunities where we do need your help. There's 15 items on that list. The biggest one on that list is this, the second service. Tom Clarkson and some of the other council members and I think that there's an opportunity to reach a slice of the population who are deep into sports leagues and who's, for 10 months out of the year, that soccer season runs, which is ridiculous, but soccer's not sinful. I've coached it for 26 seasons. And so if those people want to participate in soccer, why can't we offer an evening worship service? And so I want to commit to 6 months of offering that second worship service just to see how it goes. I don't know if I want to do Friday or Saturday yet, but some evening weekend service is what we were thinking about offering, to give people a chance to hear God's word and still do soccer or whatever else they do. Maybe they just, again, there's always unintended people that you reach when you do something like this. But so that's what we're going to try. All the other ones are kind of community events you can invite to, and we want to try to get a grant for each one. And I know that there are some of you who have Thrivent insurance, and they're the ones that give us these action team grants. Each grant is $250. So how much money would that be, Jason? You said with 14 grants? So what's that, 10? It doesn't matter. It's a couple $1,000 at least that we could use toward our outreach programs. And I know that money is tight, and yet I don't think that we need to stop doing outreach. And our church has even spent money, even when it's been tight, to do that. And I'm excited about the work that we do. So those are all things that we can work at. Now, where do you come in? This. We only do, maybe like 3 or 4 things off that list. There's no reason why, with your help, we couldn't do all of them. And so one of the things that's going to come out on Tuesday is a little questionnaire. I don't care how old you are, whatever. Just pick one. Take ownership of it. And then for every event, and it'll be all scheduled out on a list. And the service that we use to take offerings has a reminder feature that you can use for events. And if we get it set up at the beginning of the world, and you got an email saying, you need to do this in the next 3 days, whatever it might be, that might work out well. And so we could be more intentional about our outreach and marketing with all of our events and reach more people. All of these are gained, by the way. Website. The hardest one might be Google AdWords, but if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard either. Or the website, but WordPress is easy too. So. Okay? And again, it'll all come out, but just think about how we might use you. And that's it. Adult discipleship, I think. Oh, yeah. Tom's got this.
Yeah, it's on. Okay. Just hold it. Oh, yeah. Hold it close to your mouth.
Okay, I'm pinch hitting for the other Tom today. So be covering the adult discipleship. First part is the Bible study. We like to remind everyone that that's a part of your daily life. And I think it goes without saying that we all practice that. Ladies group meets every other Tuesday evening at 6:30. They're covering Ladies of Legacy. Wisdom and the Queen of Sheba is on the hopper coming up, correct? All right. Then we have Pearlie Gates working through a detailed study of the end of the world will be our, yes, you want me to go back to the previous thing?
Oh, is that a typo?
Oh, it sure is. You're right. We need to correct that. Thank you. Right. One more. Yep. So this will be our Sunday morning Bible study topic coming up, working through a detailed study of the end of the world. And we have a new video series for 2019, To the Ends of the Earth. This film follows the Apostle Paul in his trip to through Philippi. We'll be starting that in 2019. And we have email devotions that Pastor sends out faithfully every morning. We have the sermon archive that's on the church website. Also, Bible class archive is on the website. And your time of grace devotions. that you can consult at your leisure. And then every Thursday, this is the men's luncheon, the third Thursday of every month. This became an outreach tool for us sort of unexpectedly when the gentleman in the far right there, Chris Mills, started coming with us. He ended up going through a short class with Pastor, and then he became a member of our church. So you never know when things are going to happen to bring people into to our church, and this is just happened to be a fortuitous occurrence. So we have fun when we get together. I think it gives a person that's an outsider a chance to see what our congregation's like, and it's pretty cool. And we have the event Pastor mentioned, December 1st, the ladies' Christmas lunch. That'll be followed by decorating or maybe are you going to do it before or after the lunch? Decorate first and then do the lunch. There you go. Thank you. All right, Jason.
I'll be back. Good morning. I'm Jason Lodel. I work with the youth here. First off, a thank you to our youth, especially our older youth, that they are very involved and make a lot of the events that you saw happen. They were an integral part with Trunk or Treat. They did the craft area. They worked some of the different game areas, and most importantly, quality control with candy. They made sure all the candy we gave out was up to par by testing it thoroughly. So couldn't have done it without them in all seriousness. So we're always grateful for their help. The younger ones that are not back in here yet, that they are still practicing, and if you've never seen that, it's an amazing thing. These little kids up here, and our numbers are up with the youngsters, and so we should have a loud and great Christmas service, the Christmas for Kids, and the program as well. Something else we did a little bit in the past here, you can tell that as they were climbing into the water that it was still warm out, that a large group of us went to Hanging Rock and did some hiking there, climbed on top of some stuff, got into the water, moved a ginormous log in the water, asked one of the older kids about that. And so beyond just working, that they do some fun things too, and they get out and do some things and have some fellowship. As you saw there, that Sunday school is going on. It's very successful right now. Instead of the lessons that they are preparing for the program, a special thank you to Ashley Hill for orchestrating that this year. We look forward to seeing that. A special thank you to all the Sunday school teachers that make this possible. It's been a great year so far. And the reminder, too, if you do have kids involved in the Christmas program, watch your email on Monday, because they will be sending out something to help with practicing as far as music and lyrics, so be sure to watch for that. And then finally, confirmation. We do have 2 confirmants that will be getting confirmed here in June, and there are other ones that are in that 3-year cycle in that process, so 2 this year and more to come in the future as well, too. And that is it for me.
I always had the fun part here. Couple things that during the process of preparing for our outreach, we were able to construct the framework for our sign. And if anybody hasn't paid attention to it, that's something that's easily put back into the ground. We're working through different banners that can be connected to it. Some are very generic in what they say, but it's something that we can use. It'll be highly visible up front. So that's one of the small projects that we had. We have ongoing maintenance, as always. There's always a toilet broken. There's always light bulbs that aren't working to go through. I've gone through and winterized most of the facility here, which means just making sure that the faucets outside are covered up. And there'll be ongoing things, too, just to make sure that doors are closed tight and that kind of thing. I do want to report we did have some minor damage when we had the hurricane come through, which was some of the soffit panels on the back part of the church. So at some point I'll need to get those back up. It requires it seems like a 400-foot ladder to get up to the back part of the church, but Just wanted to point that out, that for storms that come through, things do happen here at the church. So that is on our short list of things to try to get repaired. All right, Tom's back again.
Okay. Little statistics and numbers for you. Our current year-to-date average is 43, and we've been running pretty close to that most services. I think we had a high of 70 for Easter for the year. When you look at the years previous to this, you'll see a decline. However, this year we've started the year with less than 43 average, and we're up to that because we have 5 new families and or individuals that have joined the congregation. So that's going to show up here on our stats. And the same thing here with the communicants and baptized souls. We had the number was a bit lower at the start of 2018 than it is now because we have those 5 new families that have joined our group. And so I expect the trend should continue to go up. As I mentioned last time, for those of you who were here, we tend to be cyclical in our growth and dropping in membership as people move in and out of the area. And so we're experiencing the upturn, I think, finally. You want me to do this, cover this as well? So this is our proposed church council for 2019. There'll be a ceremony at some point, I guess, January? Yeah. Probably. Well, the voter, but I mean the actual induction, you'll do yeah. So this is the list, and you'll see some familiar names, and you'll also see some new names on the list, reflecting some of our new members that have joined and wanted to get pitched right in and help out. So I'm going to just highlight that Ed has done an incredible job for pretty much the last, I don't know how many years, 12, 15 years or longer here with the church. And he's going to be taking a little break, and I just want to take this opportunity to let us give him a hand for all the hard work that he's done for our church. And I think Carl knows he's got big shoes to fill, but he'll do a great job. So. And then I wanted to highlight that our financial officers are Penny Reck and Jan Waugh, and they have done a superb job getting our new bookkeeping system up and running, and we're very excited to have them helping us out. Any questions on that? No? Okay, I guess you get to talk the hard numbers now.
Yeah, okay, so one of the big things, I've been standing up here, it seems like forever, talking about financials, but again, thanks to the ladies who are helped out. It's very nice of you to help out, and even if it's a tough job to pay bills if we don't have enough money, right? It's fun to pay them if you got enough money. It's just like at home. I got lots of money, I can pay bills. So these are the up-to-the-date numbers we're looking at. Our income for this year, you can see the top number. Expenses sort of outpaced the income in business vernacular. So the net is we're down 11 grand this year. And when we started the year, we had about 2 months worth of money in the bank, so we had about 20 grand in the bank. So what this has done now, when we take 11 off of there, this is what the bank accounts look like through last Sunday. So you can see, I just wanted to put all 3 of the moments when we took just a second to look at the numbers. You can kind of see checking, savings, and total. So you can see our total is stayed steady. It's a little bit down now. In November, it's 4,000, so that's like 2 weeks in the bank versus 2 months. So hence if that was your account, you'd kind of be concerned about that, as we've sort of tried to get that message over to you for a long time. So just as long as everybody's aware of it, and for right now, we're kind of holding steady, right, girls, ladies? Yeah. Proposed budget for next year, we sent that out in an email to everybody, so if you want to get in the nuts and bolts of the budget, you can certainly dive into it online. So we didn't want to get into all that today, but the bottom line is the budget for next year, we projected the income at 121, which is just about what we need to keep the place up and running. So it's not like we could go in there and adjust some numbers magically and make the expenses drop and the income go up. So this is a break-even proposition. So if we stay at this rate, this budget, 121,907, that'll cover by $38 what we anticipate to be our expenses. So to say it's tight, it couldn't get much tighter. Any other questions on anything that you saw today? Tom? They can send it in to Pastor. We can certainly chat about it because we all sort of had a hand in the budget process. So I think we got a couple hard copies in the back too, right? So if you actually want to see it without printing it out at home, you can certainly do that. If you have any questions about anything, then.
There's one additional piece of information that would be helpful. The budget looks, well thought out.
Yep.
The question is that it's hard to understand based on the information we have. Is how do we get from where we are to this, or is there no change? So what I'm saying is, you could send us some information that says, here's what we expect the income to be for this year. Here's what the expenses are expected for this year. So we got some numbers to compare.
Right. Well, we kind of used there's a bit of a hope and a prayer in there that because our income this year will not equal the budget that we've got for next year. There's a bit of it's about a $7,000 difference, our projected income this year versus our budget for this year. But we have no choice but to say a prayer. We've got a lot of new families, and hopefully we can meet the budget requirements and cover the expenses. Is that what your question was, or? Okay.
You showed us what our expenses and our income is year to date.
Right.
What I'm wondering is, what we're projecting, because typically November and December are the better months.
Yes, exactly.
So that gap
It could close. Yeah, it could close.
it'd be useful to see what you folks in the council what the numbers see in terms of projection versus what you're planning.
Right. Yeah, well, this year we're projecting, based on what we know today, versus because we got about, 6 weeks left this year, and we know our attendance is up for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, so hopefully we can enter the new year and make up remember we had 11 grand deficit that we had to take out of the bank, that we could put that money back in there and give us a little bit more of a cushion so we don't have to sweat out, every week, whatever we're getting the sort of offerings that we need to meet the expenses. So there's no fat in there. There wasn't we didn't go in the budget line by line, and because what's in there is what it takes to keep the place up and running. Any other questions? If not, Pastor, do you have anything else to say, or we're good to go?